scam deals the Pawn Stars took advantage of. Throughout the seasons, Pawn Stars fans have observed Rick Harrison and his family run the gold and silver pawn shop in Las Vegas. Apart from being popular TV personalities, the Pawn Star cast members are businessmen first, and hence, we've watched them utilize certain scenarios to make maximum profit. Here are 7 scam deals the Pawn Stars took advantage of. Number 7. Gold coin collection. While spending $12,000 on an assortment of gold coins brought in by a woman, the Harrisons had no idea that the coin collection was, in fact, stolen. The woman's uncle, who was the actual owner of the collection, then made an attempt to get the coins back from the Pawn Stars. However, it was too late by then, since the Harrisons had melted the gold coins and sold them for a whopping $50,000. In the end, the Pawn Stars were saved from any legal trouble and made a huge profit, while the niece was charged with robbery. Number 6. H.R. Geiger's film design. Swiss artist H.R. Geiger is praised till date for his airbrush images of humans, machines, and possible aliens connected in strange yet inspirational hybrids. When a man brought in an original art book signed by Geiger himself, Corey called the expert, who verified that the signature was actually authentic. That said, the book's association to Geiger's sign was the only quality that made it worth some money. While fully knowing that the art book could be easily priced at $1,200, Corey was only willing to pay $500, and shockingly enough, the man accepted this offer. Number 5. Book on Newton's alchemy. This particular scam from Season 4 involves a book on alchemy, written by one of the most influential scientists of all time, Isaac Newton, who also formulated the laws of motion and the concept of gravity. After getting the item authenticated by a book expert, the old man scammed the customer by giving him just $7,000, while it was estimated that Newton's book could easily be worth $20,000. Number 4. 15th Century Samurai Sword. In Season 7, Episode 8, named The Last Samurai, a lawyer named David visited the pawn store and told Corey that he wished to sell a 15th century samurai sword, which Corey knew was worth thousands of dollars. Even then, he only gave David a shockingly low amount of $1,500, taking full advantage of that fact that the lawyer had no idea regarding that antique sword's value in the market. David later regretted his decision when he watched the episode and saw how the experts stated that the sword was easily worth $5,000. Number 3. Colt 45 revolver. When a Colt 45 revolver, aka the Peacemaker from the 1890s, was brought to Rick Harrison's pawn shop, the pawnbroker instantly knew its value, since it was one of the most renowned guns in the Wild West days. The customer himself had scammed someone and bought the gun for just $25. After buying the Colt 45 revolver for $3,000, Rick called an expert, who revealed that the actual price value of the classic American gun could go as high as $42,000. Number 2. 1941 Gibson guitar. Antique musical instruments have always been extremely valuable in the pawn business, and it's a known fact that Gibson guitars are renowned for their fine construction and remarkable quality. When a 1941 Gibson SJ200 guitar was brought to the pawn store in Las Vegas, it was obvious that its worth would be much higher than that of any other guitar from the same brand. This was due to the fact that it was once owned by American rock legend Stephen Stills. After assuring that the guitar was authentic, Rick's expert estimated its market value to be no less than a whopping $105,000. However, Rick only offered $85,000, and luckily enough for him, the seller settled for it. Number 1. Leroy's painting. In Season 14, a brilliantly colored painting originally created by Leroy Neiman was brought to the gold and silver pawn shop, featuring Marilyn Monroe. The piece of art was called Happy Birthday, President, and the seller was seeking $6,000 for it. Corey called an expert in order to authenticate the painting, and turns out Leroy's painting could actually be worth up to $7,500. That said, Corey made an excuse that getting the artwork framed and hiring someone to sell it would cost him extra, so he was only willing to pay $2,500, which is insanely low. In the end, the seller only got $3,000, which is half of what the painting actually deserved. History Channel's famous Pawn Stars cast is surely great at earning profitable business while handling customers and making deals. Turns out, most of the time, their scam game is on point.